welcome back to the, I almost said English Pro League, to the ESL Pro League here for essentially day number 2. My name is Asterix and I am joined by Pilly. We just watched the Renegades start off with a bit of a banger. Now, Big have joined them, one apiece. We're moving on to our very third map, which is Train, not Inferno. And Pilly, this is going to be an exciting way to end the night.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Big at this point to be able to close this one out, especially on a map like Train. You know, if it was Inferno, it could be a thrilling sort of third map decider where maybe Renegades could have a shot. Knife round's going to be vitally important. I feel like Big's going to have a lot more of a better opportunity if they play the T side first than if Renegades play the T side first, because momentum's very important for Renegades. So I feel like it's going to be very important for them to start out on the CT side.
And I think for Renegades so far, you know, they've been putting up a pretty good fight. Renegades look like they have been, at least in this series, looking like the better team. But in map number 2, Big kind of came back. They looked a lot more consistent. They looked like the momentum was on their side by the end of it as well.
Well, it's what we expect to see from Big. You know, they really rely on their fundamentals. They try to make good decisions across the board and just rely on their game plan. And that's what was able to net them the comeback in that last map. You know, they really... They saved quite passively for the most part, except for maybe that AWP buy on the CT side, and they really just tried to get themselves up to full utility. And once they did that, you know, Renegades wasn't able to break it. It seemed Renegades couldn't come up with an answer once Big had all the utility and the AWPs going, and their Big was able to secure the comeback for themselves.
We saw a very devastating loss for an Australian team earlier in the form of Order Army on this map. Now, let's see if the trend follows through or if Renegades stay alive. This is for elimination, the very last map.
So T-side first for Renegades. It's not a good sign, but we'll see how they go. Maybe if they can get themselves a really strong start on the T-side of this map, then potentially they can front run straight into the CT side and get extremely comfortable. But if Big gets off to a quick start here, I think it's going to be difficult for Renegades.
Well, Nex is holding. Renegades need this. An early start, momentum, so important for them. Smokes out towards main entrance. And on the back of the platform, Gobby just hasn't landed any shots. Light coming through, but one already down there, getting on top of it. Early shots again. Smooya comes in on the back. Liaz drops 2. Tabson forward he goes, but JKS quick on the trigger. Gobby just comes in off the top.
Bomb's gone to outside and connector control has been obtained by Azza. He's going to sit under the ladder. These 2 CTs, you know, they have the kit, they have a smoke and a flash, but what they don't have is armor, which means that every single shot that connects, whether it's with head or body, is going to do a lot of damage to these big players.
Tizian in first, Gratisfaction. And Azza playing close.
Great positions.
Tizian going out. Gratisfaction gets Gobby, and on the side, Azza gets the 1 tap. Perfect start for Renegades again in the pistol round.
Good rotation work from them to recognize that they can come back down the ladder and go towards that outside bomb site. The trade's going back and forth prompts more and more big players to make their way from outside through connector. I mean, you know, just count them up. Head back towards outside, and they've got such solid positions at that point once they've got the bomb down that no matter where Big comes from, it's going to be quite difficult for them to win that retake, especially armorless. Now, Renegades on the bite. Lots of rifles across the board, respecting the fact that maybe Big might be going for a bit of a buy-up, which they aren't. Liaz's going to save. Very important round for Renegades to win, though, because it's going to deny Big the opportunity to be able to get AWPs pretty early on in this half. Would be very important to have Smooya and Tabs picking up those AWPs. That's a lot of dinks, though, and already losing Azza is not a good sign.
Yeah, Smooya is a trade-off, which is not really one when you look at it. Tabson drops 2. He has a bit of damage on the side, but Azza dropping down might mean something in the long run for Big. But at least for this round, negating the rest of the losses for Renegades.
Love to see Liaz head back down to try to grab this AK. JKS going to drop it over. Is he going to recover it? He does. That's a great job from JKS to throw that one over. Only losing an ump in that round and some armor. So overall losses, you know, 1,200 plus nades. Pretty respectable stuff from Renegades now. Big going to be buying up. Lots of AUGs across the board. And some rifles. But no AWP to be dealing with early on here for Renegades. Up to a 2-0 lead. Be nice to see them start to front run and get a couple of rounds on this T side very early on. could make things a lot easier for them because we've seen how resilient Big can be. They don't need to start off with the lead, but I feel like Renegades, they need to front run in this match.
Well, sprays out, and Renegades going to put some damage towards this B bomb site. Bit of utility out to get Big over there. And double org on the side of Big. And of course, it's Tabson as usual. Tabson's been the standout here. Gonna spray out. Booyah takes a big brunt. Oh, Liaz, his spray through the smoke in this series has been magnificent. It's not something that sounds right coming out of my tongue, but actually out of my mouth. That's how mouths work. Bit of utility out. They're coming down the bottom of the ladder room. Smoke's out through there as well. Great flash, but they don't spot Nex, who just turns back around. Good heads-up play there from Renegades in the end. They manage to get on the A bomb site. They get the plant down, and they're in a 4v2.
It's great stuff from them. Leo's opening things up very early with the first pick, and then they just resolved it on the A bomb site pretty quickly there. Straightforward stuff, trading out 1-for-1 pretty early on. Already on top of having the advantage, very clean round for Renegades. This is the start that they need to this train game.
Be impressive if Jacob could also get Tizian. Just take those guns away. And Tizian's not budging. Jacob's doing the same. Waiting patiently. Watch Tizian just peek out, but never mind. Jacob walks away. 3 rounds for Renegades. And 2 guns in the hands of the CT.
Yeah, they can definitely make this work. It's not only the 2 guns in their hands, but the potential for the pistols to be brought up as well with some armor. Even out the money across the board, everyone's going to have 2 to 2.5k. So no problems flying into the next one, and this is not a round that Renegades can take for granted. Rifles on Tizian and Tabson, CZs in close proximity could be very dangerous for these terrorist players.
Good flash out, Nobby peeks anyway. Smooya goes up as well. But of course, pistols like that, Grat, that's a great pick onto Tabson, but can't get Tizian. Liaz in good position to take him down though, through the train. Nades up, see you later, mate. Bit of damage onto Tizian, but he survives for now. But for how long? You know what they say, what happens in Vegas? Well, it stays in the corner. Makes no sense, I'm sorry, it's late. Tizian, he will drop the M4 though. And guns out of the hands of Big. Renegades, they're switching on. Again, you just talk about pace and momentum and how they get on a roll and they stay on it. They've done that for the past couple of rounds. JKS spotting out the retreat from Nex. Nex was able to pick up an AUG on that said retreat. So at least trying to take it into the next round.
Certainly on a roll here. Going to be buying to the next one for Big. We haven't seen a proper buy round from them yet. Let's not get too excited. Good news for Renegades though is that they've won these rounds very cleanly. They've got themselves off to a good enough start to the point where even if Big does fight back a little bit, they'll still be able to buy. Will it be the singular or the double? Next picks up another gun there. That's going to damage the T economy a little bit, but not too much to be upset about. Double AWP brought up straight away. AUG as well. 2 AUGs, 2 AWPs. It was the recipe for success on the CT side of Overpass. Let's see if it's going to be the same. Renegades very well aware that this is a round that Big is going to be a lot more dangerous in than the previous gun round where they had, you know, rifles and very limited utility.
But we'll see if Renegades can hold on.
I've seen how successful Big can be when they have all the guns, when they have all the utility.
Yeah.
Something Renegades has really struggled to deal with unless they get themselves a heavy advantage early on.
Seems to be different on train so far. But if they can manage to claw their way through this one, through the double AWP setup of Tabson and Smooya, who, on that note, have both been very successful so far in this series when they pick up that powerful sniper rifle. I was like, where was I going with that? What was I going to call it? But anyway, Big around to get themselves back into contention of this half at the very least. Otherwise, might just run away from them. And it's Renegade's turn to set the pace over towards B. And in the back of. We now ask the question, how does this play out? One member on B, one sitting in con. Leo's getting stopped. Bit of utility used there. Actually, quite a lot of utility used there by Big.
This position could be very dangerous from Tizzy, and idea here from Renegades is to put a lot of pressure on Ivy here, throw some grenades over there and try to cause some rotations and then walk out towards the upper ramp into the later portions of the round. Here they go. They put pressure on Ivy. They're walking out now. Tizian sees it. That's one easy frag for him and a second. This is disaster for Renegades. Again, the AUG and the AWP buy is so hard for them to deal with in this series, and it's something that they're going to have to get over if they're going to make this one more competitive.
Yeah, they've definitely got to get used to it. Tizzy, with those opening 2 frags, might just put the round out. Smooya gets a third. Leaz may come in now, but he needs this one. The spray down, he can't land at all. And JKS even comes out, but can't get a second. And Big walk away comfortably with that round.
4 alive. It's going to help to build up the money more and more, and money is the name of the game for Big. They've got a lot of it. It's trouble for Renegades. But like we said before, Renegades front-runned enough early on, clean enough rounds to be able to have a decent economy. They can buy up here. They've still all got all 1 to 2k across the board, so maybe even with a bomb plant, potential for a buy into the next of a decent kind. But another tough task for them. Brat fast down SL here. Does get smoked off though, and the boost coming up. But Tabson's jumped off the train now. Or has he?
Thinking about going back on. Next coming in close.
They've got control of SL. No real pressure on Innes, and Tizian is spotting that, so he does know that there's no people in Whitehorse. Great shot from Tabson, as well as hearing the molly tickling the toes of the T's in SL. Lots of information for Big. They know no one's towards Innes. They're very well aware that the T's are in SL. Renegades really, how do I say it? They're really showing Big exactly where they are.
Getting caught with their pants down.
Very one-dimensional. Lots of information for Big, and no second guessing from Big here. Only now just Tabson running into CT Con back and forth as Renegades only just now start to move towards Innes. So the rotation timing is perfect. In fact, a lot of them are rotating.
Well, but Tizian gets taken out immediately. Molly down before he dies. Means that JKS just can't walk in. But Tabson, this gives him time to position on the B bomb side.
Are Renegades going to go back towards SL is the real question here, though. Gobby actually runs all the way from CT, kind of pushes Vines at this point in the round.
25 seconds left. So Renegades have to make a move. Rotation through connector. That's a good molly. What the heck is going on there? Leaz just burns 2 people alive. They're moving on to the A bomb site. And Big have just been caught by surprise. Smooya and Tabson going, now we have to get back to A.
Gobby's the key player, though, here. They're not going to expect him to be in T-Connector so early on here, but JKS is already ready for it. Turns around at the wrong time, but still converts the frag.
Somehow, Gobby goes down. Pilly, I just don't know how that happened. I don't know how this round happened. It looks so bad for Renegades.
Well, you know.
At least it looked half decent.
It was a rotation play, wasn't it? I mean, Big had a lot of information there, but once Renegades reset and they took it back away from them, Big wasn't too sure what was happening. And some of those key frags going the way of Renegades. That is not one Tabson wants to be missing.
Well, he doesn't normally miss those shots.
No, definitely not. And losing one of those AWPs is going to put a lot more pressure on the money. Like, look at the difference. Tabson could have had an AWP here and dropped over a rifle to a teammate if he was alive. Look at the difference in the buy that would have made. Next would have had rifle, some utility, and armor. They would have still had the double AWP. They still do, though. Smooth's bought one for Tabson. He's thrown it over. Tabson gets an MP9 for Nex, and the other 2 will buy. So, not nearly as good as it could have been in the last one. Is it as impressive as some of the AUG and the AWP buys with the full utility that Big's been very successful with thus far? No, but do they have the double AWP? Yes, they do. And Next going to start it off very strongly here early on.
It picks up the AK there, so the start there for Big. Much better than their original buy, of course. Has a lurking here, but doesn't need to make a move just yet. Renegades salvage what they can from now, the 4v5.
I mean, they converted the last 4v5 in that previous round where they lost Grat very early on. Have been smoked out of T-Connector, and Big have control of SL at least until they walk out. Smooth's posted up on Ivy. As they're on the other side, Liaz trying to scope out this T-Connector, see if he can find out whether Big do actually have control of it.
Liaz might be caught by surprise by Godby here.
I think he's going to be well aware that Godby can be close due to the fact that the Big smoked it off earlier. Pressure being applied with grenades to Ivy by Azza. It's not really shifting any of the rotations for Big though here. Still, Next on top of the train. He's upgraded to the AK after getting that first pick. Smooya's holding on to Ivy and swinging between that and SL. Two players going down the lower ramp looking for a pick, but Tizian spotted a leg.
Oh, did he? I feel like he didn't. He's looked away at the wrong time. Tabson down. Tizian's still here. He's got no information. He's just looking away at the wrong time. Eventually does find JKS in. Now a 3v4, but Gratisfaction come up behind. Look at where Smooya is and look how low he is. The cross coming in now too. And next, if he doesn't play it carefully, here comes Grat. Right in the groin for Smooya. Pushing through in a 2v2. Up on top of train, Azza just turns around. I don't know how he got that one. Goldbeat turns onto Grat, but look at the CT. They win out of time. And a close call for Renegades, but couldn't find the last kill.
Oh, what was that round? There was just people flanking someone who's flanking someone else. Just one of those. Big do come away with it, though, in the one-on-one. Grat's just running down lower ramp, you know, taking CT connector control with the AWP, AWPing people in the side and the back. Shooting people on angles that don't even exist.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Anyway, it's behind us now. 5-2 for Renegades, but Big making this one a lot more competitive and back and forth in the earlier stages than in some of the previous maps that we've seen. Which means that Renegades are going to have to dig deep to ensure that they maintain this lead, because they need it. 5 rounds, already pretty good on the T side.
Yeah.
But I feel like Renegades need a little bit extra in the tank.
Well, I think
they
Renegades
have been better team individually.
Yeah. Now at this point, Renegades feel like they definitely deserve it. But
Big aren't going to let them have it.
no. And a couple of these rounds starting with the 5v4, early opening frags. And the AWP on the side of Gratisfaction. This time, he has to deal with only Tabson and Smooya on the AUG. But an SMG still in the hands of Godby.
Same with Tizian.
So we will see.
AWP and AUG going to have to do heavy lifting here. They have SL control. Don't have a whole lot of control. Playing off Ivy again, Big. They want to really put a lot of emphasis and pressure on the front of the train yard.
Well, JKS, he's going down.
That's info for him. Trades 56 HP for info of SL. Tries to spam some damage into Next there. What's the play going to be from Renegades, though? Liaz starts to make his way through Ivy. That would really suggest that, especially with the other Ts moving back, this is going to be a split through outside. JKS has got full utility. He can put some pressure. That is a sick time smoke for Godby, though. At this point in the round, 45 seconds, you get smoked off T-Con. Someone's going to have to be running through there, and they're not going to be happy about it. That's a huge pick for JKS, though. Taking Nex out of SL.
Well, now that Nex has dropped.
It's gonna make Big so worried about SL being the play from Renegades, but there's no one there. They're gonna have to watch it. Look how sure Tabson is that there's people about to explode out SL on him.
And paranoia is gonna hurt them, but Billy, there's 15 seconds here. Smoothie's just lined them up. At least Jacob comes through hard, but Tabson's taking down the bomb carrier. This round could be done, and it is. So time wasn't a factor in the end, but Big and paranoia doesn't strike too hard in them. They pick up their 3rd round, and I think we're looking down the barrel of a very similar map 3.
Worrying signs for Renegades now. The money's broken. They've already got 5 rounds on the board on this T side, so decent stuff from them. It'd be nice for them to get some more, though.
Yep.
That was a round that definitely could have gone the way of Renegades. I can't even quite put my finger on what went so horribly wrong for the later portions. They cleaned Nex out of SL with a great pick from JKS. They were in some pretty decent positions, but I don't really think that the push synced up with all the lads at that point in the round. They had 3 coming out Ivy very quickly, 1 above SL and 1 in the back of T Connector instead of all of the lads coming in at the same time. Once Big dealt with one part of the push, it was pretty easy for them to spin around and not already have another T ready to trade. Oh. There's a double from Tabson. Anti-Eco. Going to make this one a little cleaner, a little easier potentially, but as I say that, 2 guns going down. And that's going to put a little bit less money in the bank account of Big, but not too bad. Now another buy from Renegades. What's the play going to be from them?
Okay, this is their round.
They've been pretty consistently going with that slower approach that we saw them have some success on the T side of Overpass with. Just the map control. This looks like a bit of a faster one. At least sending Liaz quickly towards T-Con to take some shots. But this time, Jacob being sent towards Inners. Great flashes, but Goppy is undeterred. He's still pushing up. It's a triple setup. Triangle of Doom from Big here. Tizian ready to peek from upper ramp. Tabson scoped up with the AWP and Gob close. Anti-flash. It's going to be a brawl towards the stairs here and the ramp at Inners. Jacob just walking down SL. JKS has got control of that. They might just skip this whole stack entirely.
Say it feels like it's going to be a bit of a messy round.
Oh, Smooya's got the AWP on site, and there's 1 CT in the hell position. Those are the 2 key players Renegades need to clear out, and they haven't done a great job on Smooya.
Again, finding the opening frag. Gobby tries to get the flank, though. That's the biggest part. Tizian as well. Gratisfaction gets 2. Next still sitting here at this position, and as they peek back out, 2 for 2 trade, but at the end, 3 versus 2. Against the Renegades. All the utility out onto the B bomb site, but look at the quick rotation here from Big. Bomb is going to go down, but now it's all on the side of Renegades. They have to get these post-plant positions, and it's going to be difficult now.
They need to take these duels. Honestly, they can't just play back in the halls here with no utility to be able to play up against Big. Big's got better utility than they do, so this Molotov on low ramp or a smoke on one of the angles and someone posting on the other is going to make this very hard for Renegades to win.
Well, Grat looking to peek out here. AWP shot does miss. I don't know how he got away with that. Tries to get the spray in the air, but Tabson peeks out Liaz as well. But the defuse will come through. 5 all. And Big have clawed their way back here on Train. Double AWP survive too. Yeah, so things get interesting.
Lots of loss bonus here for Renegades with that bomb plant as well. They can afford AK armor and some grenades for a bit of a quicker one. Not sure if that's what they're actually going to opt to do though. Keeping some of these rounds a little closer is going to keep Big's economy honest, but still not unhealthy at this point. Still not in the potential reset area like we've seen Big struggle with a lot over this series. Ever since that second half of Overpass, moving on to Train as well, they've had great control of their economy, and it's been harder for Renegades to work for these map wins. These round wins, rather. Map wins too, though.
I'm curious how it goes from here, because Renegades, things have slowed down, not in their pace or their play style, more in the game itself.
Here's the half bite. Util, grenades and armor. Wouldn't be surprised to see this be an B execute here for Renegades. Try to get those pistoling players very quickly up close to that CT connector. Tizian drops the Molotov early on here, but Renegades never intended to go quickly. It's probably going to be a lot of smokes towards that train yard. Look at the reaction from Big. They just fall back. They fall very far back in the Inners train yard, and they're just going to let Renegades have the site.
Utilities out, Bomb doesn't land. Next, takes the brunt of the damage, or it's actually Tabson there. Going close with the AWP. This doesn't work out. Next drops as well. Renegades just walked on site. That's 3. Liaz with 2. Bomb plant's going to go down too, so not only are they going to get the money from it, now there's an AWP on the side of Jacob. This round could just fall by the wayside. Liaz picked up an M4. It's 4 versus 2. There is armor on everyone. Jacob's just burning to death here with the AWP. That's a gun out of the game, even though Liaz does get 1 kill. Smooth is still sitting back. He's going to save that round for Renegades. Boy, oh boy, that was good.
Oh, that was just so confusing from Big. They had 3 on inners. They were very convinced they knew what was happening. They knew Renegades were going to be coming into the B side there. And I thought that they were just going to say, look, they have pistols. We have double AWP as well. Let's just fall back. We have the utility. As long as we fall back in this inners train yard, we hold the angles, we maybe get a kill or 2 or some damage.
Yep.
And then we use our utility to flush the T's out of those annoying positions behind Pop, on the bomb train, back of oil. We smoke off lower or upper and hold the other, and we win that round 9 times out of 10. But just as they're falling back in the inners train yard, as soon as the execute comes in from Renegades, they push forward into close angles against pistols with an AWP and a rifle. And Renegades just instantly punish them for it, pick up the guns, and win the round.
Now they're stuck in this position. Big have one AWP that they carried through. They had to save. They didn't have any money. And you see that the AWP, the AUG, and the M4 taken through by Renegades.
It's just terrible. It's given Renegades such a bonus on the money. It's really punished this big economy that was starting to really work its way up there. It's given Renegades such a massive boost on this T side, and it goes away from the strengths of Big, losing control of the money like this. Big blunder.
Big.
But it's not something they can't recover from.
No, but on the T side, Renegades, again, you said it, they want as many rounds as possible. Liaz pushing out there. Smooya on the AWP doing wonders. Godby was the one to drop, but remember that AWP's still alive. That's a 1 gun for Big. That could change this round. Because he lives, now the issue arises, but they just disappear. Maybe heading up towards B. Peek. Jacob quick to the trigger. Almost drops to it. But Smooya, he's moved over to the B bomb site. Utility out now, but look at that opening shot onto JKS. He's done enough damage. It's a 3v3 with the gun back in hand and taps it. Jacob pushes onto site, but they have to worry about that AWP. The smoke covers from both angles, but utility in again. And that grenade kills Azza. 2v2. Next is on a deagle, but don't underestimate him. Molly out. He has to push up. He takes a lot of burn damage, just pushes him out of position. And into the hands of Jacob with 3 kills this round. Tabson now has to come back in, but he can't find anything else.
That's all, Jacob. That round was getting very scary there, actually. Smooya is given too much room with the AWP there. He can end that round that Renegades, by all rights, should be winning every time. Jacob creeps up the right side. He secures all 3 of those frags in 3-on-3. And bails Renegades out of her sticky situation there. Do Big buy here? That's the question. Tizian with a little bit of lacking in the money department. Smooya can buy an AWP. Tabson would have to glass cannon if they want to continue this run with the double AWP. Difficult decision to be making. Utility is very important on a map like Train. And if you're not buying any on Tizian and God B, or you're going back down to your pistols and SMGs, and not being able to go into that double AWP setup, might not be something that you're interested in. They are, though. They want to fight for this half. They don't want Renegades to get up towards 8 or 9 or 10 T rounds. They want to stop this right here and now.
Well, this is still going to go either way at this point. But again, a couple of good rounds for Renegades. And with this control, now it comes room to take a bit of an advantage on the T side of Train. Elimination match, an important one again for Renegades, but an important one for Big as well. Don't underestimate the team that has no further lifeline.
Slower approach from Renegades. Got B again, doing so much work, getting so much information towards this T connector. Rest of Renegades above SL, they do grab control of that 1B from Jacob. No SL control for you, God B.
Given back over to the side of Renegades. Smooya not sure where to look right now.
Again, playing very far up in this train yard as the smokes and the flashes come in. Smoke exchange off the T-con there, and Smooya with the first.
Gets Grad again. And next, still on top of Train, gets the trade-off onto Liaz. Not sure what's happening here, but everyone's just walking into the side of Big. Renegades have suddenly just lost everything in this round. And Azza's left standing. Next is low. He needs some big shots here, but Shot in the back by Nex. Big take another. 6-7.
Big just playing so aggressively up on that train yard. They don't want Renegades to keep getting up and out that SL and T-Con area for free. It's Nex and Smooya that combine to shut that all down for Renegades. And now let's put them in a sticky scenario. Same thing for Big though. Whoever wins this round at this point in the half is pretty likely to win the next as well. It's based off the money.
Flash out for Grat. With that, he'll peek forward, but look at Grat. Oh, that was actually on a Smooya. Yeah, I think that's one of the first. So I'm sure he'll be happy about that. It's not every day you see Grat out trading Smooya on the AWP. And now one left standing in the form of Tabson. More utility out on the side of Renegades, but that opening frag there, very good signs on the 14th round.
I mean, Renegades have been getting the first pick pretty often, I would say.
Okay.
Very consistently on this T side. Doesn't necessarily mean the round's over, though. I mean, look what happened last time.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a better sort of approach this time to the man advantage situation, though. Last time they really tried to force the issue, got the smokes out there and tried to get into the train yard very early on there. Timing didn't really work out too well for them this time. Slower approach. Very spread out approach from the Renegades side. Interesting setup towards Innis here. I love this. Tizzy and he's just going to hold lowers from the ladder area. Taps and orbs upper. Still got Nex in that SL position and got B very close to T-Con. So some annoying positions for Renegades to be able to deal with. But the clock's running down so low. Look at the timing on that smoke.
20 seconds. Still dropping down. Nex doesn't find it though. The double jump. And Leaz goes in as well. A bomb site given over to the side of Renegades. Time was running short, but now with this plant, things will be A-okay.
And that's all the difference, isn't it? Last time, I mean, they got that man advantage, but they took the round for granted. They smoked out and they all just ran out individually here and there. This time, they go together. They all go at the same time from the different angles and then individually making sure that the trading is much more possible. The spacing's much better.
Tabson wasn't looking the right way in the end there, but again, the 50-50 doesn't matter.
Looking like a 9-6 for Renegades. Big's
yeah.
money's going to be pretty bad. Although I have to say, if there's a team that's fantastic at losing against pistols, you're looking at them.
Yeah. If you're a Renegades fan, here's hoping. Well, he's not hoping. If Renegades can finish T-side 9-6, not a bad way to enter the next half. Definitely better than we're expecting. Nex was the only one who could force and pretty much get a decent weapon. But then again, the FAMAS is dog poo. It's like, you know, it's that restaurant that has 1 star. You're going, what's wrong with it? You go, just go there and you'll see. You get food poisoning. Almost a good nade out. Renegades right now got to be thinking this will be a good way to end the half. If they can get a 9-6 here,
Be fantastic.
be absolutely fantastic.
I don't know who would win from that scenario. I know Big, very capable T-side train team. It's going to be a nail biter. Renegades just picking and prodding. Trying to find out where these big players are, the pistols. Big, they're running out of utility, they're running out of options. Renegades gonna head back towards inner. Big gonna stack it though. Renegades need to hurry up. Smooth's got a lot of information towards Ivy. This is gonna be a brawl on the inner bomb site. Oh, that is a well-timed smoke indeed from God B.
25 seconds here, Pilly. Has it through first. Good flashes too. Golby was pretty close, but Tizian stuck on the reload. They come back around. Next being a huge threat here as well. The rotation from Tizian doesn't catch them by surprise. And it's Tabson, it's Smooya who are left alive, but the positioning probably not going to work out. Tabson on site. I don't think Azza knows where he is, and he doesn't. He gets caught out. Tabson, 4 bullets left. Just needs to come back around. Leah's facing the wrong way, but a quick turnaround from him. And Renegades, they do end 9-6. Some ingenious plays there from Big in the end. But Renegades are the one who are successful. Now with the transition, how are things going to look for Big?
Man, Godbeast is so good at dropping utility at such annoying times when Renegades are trying to come out. It's one of the key factors of Big winning that round where Nex and Smooya combined. He drops the smoke onto T-Con again.
Thank you, Mouse.
Yeah. He has with the utility damage.
314 utility damage, I mean.
Anything this guy does, he does it well.
Yeah.
So, you know, frag her up in order. Now he's, you know, a bit more supportive on the side of Renegades.
And Gratz flashed 20 people.
What the hell?
You know?
Support
Dirty
Orpa.
boy.
Yeah. T-side Orpa. I mean, you kind of have to. Kind of have to use the util.
Yeah, you got to get your name out there. You know? Well, 9-6 Pilly. I don't know. I still don't know here in the third map. It's anyone's game.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like Renegades have been winning so many of these pistols. I'd love to see the stats, because I feel like Big have had very few pistols in this whole series.
Yeah.
And this would be a great one for them to win.
If they win this one, I think I'll be more confident in saying that Renegades could have just, well, they wouldn't have sealed the deal. They'd be so much closer. Let's jump in. T-side for Big. And they're just going straight towards this B bomb site. JKS has the information. He was the only one here. It's Jacob who's sitting in connector. Everyone from Big has slowed down, so the push comes to a standstill. There's a molly, a couple of flashes on God B. JKS sees him coming in now. There's the one tap, there's the two. Just needs the third. JKS finds it. He's done enough. Big neglected on this B bomb site. Send him back to eBay. And Tizian stuck behind Trey. Needs some big shots here with the Glock. He won't find it, or at least he will. Onto Grat. Turns into the spray. But Renegades again, another pistol round in their back pocket.
It's 2 for 2, I think. On Train in particular. I'm not sure about the other maps.
I think they're 5 for 6. Or at least, I reckon it's 5 for 6 or 6 for 6.
I think so. I think it'd be something like that.
It's something insane.
Alright. Bomb plant, though, is going to make buying in this or the next easier for Big. It's great pistol work from JKS.
Yeah.
He's not someone you want showing up for Renegades in this one. Hero AK again on Big. Just a single AK given to Tabson. Got B again. Just going to make do next round. Buy a Mac 10 or a pistol. Give him a chance at damaging the economy of Renegades, if not potentially winning the round. If anyone's going to kill your whole team with an AK and armor, Tabson's a pretty decent bet. Probably in my top 20 of players to give an AK and armor to.
Tabson has been so crucial in whether Big perform well or not well in these maps. Tabson, the reason that we're in 3 maps, I dare say. And with that opener there on the Hero AK, might be a reason that Big have a chance in this round. Jacob has dropped. He is dead. Hold the funeral. Because we're still not done here. How many caskets will we need? The slow push over towards the B bomb site. And back of B right now. And Azza happy to come out of SL and onto the A bomb site. Still, Renegades don't know where Big are going.
That nade's going to give Tapson a lot of info of where JKS might be. Grat's posted on upper though. Where is Tabson going to look for a pick next? Looks like falling back towards SL. Smooya, he's got a lot of information towards Ivy in a good position. Tizian's going to come out to T-Con. The rest of the lads actually running back to T-Con.
And 20 seconds left. Liaz pops out as it gets Tizian as well. Things not going too well for Big. They've got 10 seconds left remaining here. Tabson hanging all the way back. And can they get the bomb plant down? Liaz says, get the heck off my property. And Renegades once again mow the lawn with Big.
Things Liaz would never say.
Well, one day, I don't know, everyone gets old.
True.
Everyone gets old. Could you imagine when all these players get old, when they get 50 or 60, sitting at their computers playing CS while everyone else is out there in the virtual world? Question for another day, perhaps. Renegades with their 11th round here, and Pilly. And the buy comes through from Big. It's one singular AWP. And Godbeat just didn't have enough, so he stuck with the Tech 9.
And brought up that hero AK in the last round. Netted them a little bit of damage, but not a huge amount. Keeping Renegades a little bit honest. Hazard is the danger player for Renegades on train. So good in that SL position. JKS on inners as well. It's going to be a tough one to deal with. See how Liaz goes towards that Ivy position as well. In general, I feel like a lot of these positions for Renegades on the CT side lend well to sort of players that are playing them. How well will they fare against Big's T side though? Because we all know Big's one hell of a T side train team when they get going. They're so good at using the utility to grab map control.
I'm trying to do that right now. The smoke to negate the molly. Oh, Big have got other plans.
How's this going to go for them? They've got the two players towards Ivy. Smooth's going to be throwing a smoke towards the green train for the Ivy player. No, it's a right side bomb smoke, I think. Then he heads back towards inners.
30 seconds again.
They're going back to T-Con again.
Big are leaving this late once more.
He smoked off Old Bomb. They're trying to make it look like they're going towards inners. It's an inners fake through old side, and then they're going to come back towards outers, but double in SL.
Not sure it's working out. Godby gets damaged heavily as well. He's not the one with the gun as it peeks out. And again, Jacobs is just not looking the right way. Greatest Faction drops through. Camera left, right, and center. 3 versus 1.
So well. What a strat from Big. What an important round to pull it out as well. First gun round of your T side to break Renegade's money and get yourself back in the game. That's the strat you pull out. Oh my lord. That just had so many layers to it. That's probably why I'm crying. It reminds me of an onion.
That's smarted. And Big to pull out something like that then. Such an important game. And it's good to see that Big are not feeling defeated at this point. They're not saying no. 7th round for them, but all picked up for JKS. And there should still be a bit of hope in this round, if that AWP can do anything. But Renegades, flat, broke. And the pause comes through. A tactical one from Big.
I would use this tactical timeout. This would be my dedicated Praise Scott B timeout.
Yeah.
For how sick of a strat that was. And yeah, apart from that, I mean, I'd probably be talking about how to make sure that you come back in this T side. See if Renegades are actually forcing up. So potential for Big to put them firmly in the bin.
Ugly people, aren't they? I'm sorry, but like...
I mean, they're not real people, so...
You know,
I mean,
but you know...
You're not offending anyone, but
no.
I'm sure someone looks like that.
Well, you never know. I mean, I don't think I'm one to talk, but shouldn't probably be bagging people out. Anyway. I'm excited because this could be Big's round.
Guppy's out to haul off. Molly on the bomb train.
Great. Peeky. Right, has been blinded, sitting on top of train. If he loses this AWP, this round is going to be a bit of a bummer for Renegades to peek out through the side of this train. And he does find it, as it does get next as well. This round could be good. Oh. What a tackle down! Oh, Grat. He's done enough to set up this round for Renegades. It's a 4v1. Insane. Smooya drops as well. I don't know how, but Greatest Faction once again showing him why it's good to be an Australian.
Or a New Zealander.
Or, yeah, I guess. Why it's good to be an Australian, though.
What a flick. That vertical, this vertical flick downwards, that is...
was insane.
How did he hit that? Hope he does an AMA soon, because I'd like to ask.
He's done some pretty amazing things in this series.
For sure, yeah.
All things considered. I think Gratisfaction is someone we'll be talking about a lot after this. He bounces his way up onto short. He gets yet another.
And talk about a side for you to get your confidence going on a map in an important series. CT side Train, if your AWPer is on point, you're putting the fear of God in the terrorist team.
Yeah.
So many angles to be dealing with. You're going to need to get the bank of Smooyer up there pretty quick because somebody's got to deal with this guy.
Can you at this point? Gratisfaction looking clean. He picks up 3 more in that round. And now it is the final moment. At this point, a big gonna force up. 13 rounds in.
I don't know.
Their last tack timeout.
I'd be feeling probably a half buy in this one from Big and throw something clever in the mix.
What do you hope for the next round where you can get a full buy?
I think you half buy in this one and you get yourself some utility. I'm sure Big have numerous clever strats where they can get themselves in favourable scenarios where they could potentially try to make things work with the pistols. Then next round they can get Smear on the AWP to try to deal with Grat. And a good buy across the rest of the lads. Probably your best bet, I would say.
Well, might be goodbye, Pilly, if the next round or this round doesn't go too well.
You're right.
Renegades, we were scared. We were talking about this off air that, you know, they could be the team that kind of falters to Big when everything was looking good to them. Or good for them. But Renegades, this is kind of the defining round as well as the next round. There's going to be Tech 9s across the board, CZs, and a bit of utility. Renegades have said they will not be intimidated on this map.
Big have got a lot of map control. They're heading back towards inner. It's going to be a lot of pressure on JKS. Rotation coming in from Jaken towards the CT connector. And here come the smokes and the flashes.
JKS doesn't get affected. Jacob does though. Yeah, might be right. The peek out, they know where JKS is. But smoke out, bomb goes down, so a bit of money on the board. But can they get more? Gratisfaction goes down, but look at that. JKS with a great spray. The peek through. Godby is right there. JKS just needs to spray through. He peeks his way, but a shot there by JKS. A little bit on the nose. 3 members get through. Renegades now going to be expecting that this is the crucial round to keep themselves in the ESL Pro League.
It's all on Big here. They've got all the money in the world for whatever buy they want. Smooth straight onto the AWP. This is a very big deficit for Big to be able to grind back. Renegades with a decent amount of money as well, so it's going to take more than one gun round victory to put Renegades' economy back in the bin. But Renegades, a lot of room to play with. The pressure's off. At least for now. The secondary AWP out of Godby.
Oh, man.
What a time to bring it out. And he's picked Asa with it. Unbelievable.
It's a good open up. But Gratisfaction's still alive. Let's see how this AWP trade goes off for the first time. Smooth gets hit hard, taps in as well. Look at Jacob. He steps up when needed. Renegades walking towards that lower bracket continuance. And Jacob again, he gets the third. That might be enough. Godby turns it back around onto Liaz, though. Maybe not. It's JKS in the end and Gratisfaction. 15 rounds for Renegades. Pilly, match point now against Big to stay in the EPL in Odense. An important one for both teams.
Big just emptying the last little cents out of the piggy bank. Nexus got a P90. All right.
What? Go out in style, apparently.
I mean, why not at this point? I mean, I can tell you why not, because if you lose this round, you're going out of the tournament. So that's probably why not. But anyway, maybe he's going to prove me wrong. Scott, that's an old school skin.
That's a garbage skin.
First pick for Jacob in ladder. No ladder control for your boys over on Big. Grabbed himself an AK as well. Liaz caught off guard with the P90. This is how Big come back.
Here we go. As is going to see it coming, though. The cross Timing just in front of the smoke. He will eventually see Nex, who has gotten dangerously low. But look at where Gratisfaction is from Spawn. That's an unlucky hit. But with the molly down, they're going to push through it anyway. The flash there as well. Pushing through. Gratisfaction gets caught unawares. The P90 still alive. It's a 4v3. Renegades aren't out of the woods just yet.
Could be. He's chilling in T-Con. Rest of the big guys on the other side of the train yard towards Old Bomb. Smooya posted up on SL, picks up Jacob. They're very well where he was playing there earlier. And they've been rewarded for their patience. JKS pushing up in as Speed going to be heading out to this outside bomb side. It's a matter of timing. How many free gunfights can Renegades get themselves before Big are able to use their numbers advantage?
Oh, Azar. He will get Tizzy in though, but the spray across just shows his position. Gobby still sitting there, but this round he doesn't have the AWP. Gets sprayed down by JKS. A kill not secured yet. It's Nex who gets down. It's JKS again with a trade. The nade to finish off the game doesn't come through. The 1v1. Gobby has picked up an AWP, but JKS, he knows he's low. 3% or 3 health. The touch. And the final moment for Renegades. They'll pick up the series. But boy, oh boy, was it a tight one. Means Big are going home, but Renegades continue their lower bracket run here in the EPL.
27 frags for JKS. There's not a single player on Renegades that didn't have a massive performance in at least one of those maps. What a team effort by the lads. This is a huge win for them. Like, beating a team that's in the top 10, that's really going to push their rankings up there. You know, that's going to push them further in the tournament. That's pretty much the biggest win that this lineup has had, the biggest victory this lineup has had thus far in the new iteration, and impressive stuff. You
look at it optimistically and you go, all right, Big was a team that a lot of teams wanted to go out and beat because they go, it's realistic, but also Big are this team from EU that a lot of teams in the past have struggled to climb over. And Renegades, it was a very close series.
Well, two really one-sided maps, but yeah, close in the sense that felt like there was always opportunities for Big to be able to get back into it. You have to say on the side of Big, their form has been very poor as of late. In this series, definitely didn't show up individually. Some of the strategies pretty on point, and some of the ways that they're able to come back, and the performance from Tabson and Smooya pretty decent across the series. Next had his moments as well, but it wasn't enough to deal with Renegades, and you really have to say big question marks for Big going forward. This is a game that they should definitely be able to win, but I have to be happy for Renegades. It'd be not very patriotic not to.
Of course, the only Australian team left standing after train ended quite abruptly, or at least after a lot of effort there for Order. But today's a very different story for Renegades. And yeah, it felt like it was close in the games itself. There was moments that defined it. Cage was such a great performance for Renegades to start us off, but as we got over to train, it just looked like Renegades took hold. And only 7 rounds for Big this time in. I think going forward, we look at the lower bracket and we say, all right, Renegades have shown us the kind of form they are with now Liaz with Gratisfaction on the roster.
Yep.
You know, Liaz in the very first map, Gratisfaction, I think across all maps, had a pretty good performance there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Great performances from all of the lads. It's great for them to see them step past a team like Big, you know, who's a team that we consider, you know, up there, probably solidly at the top of the tier 2 teams or thereabouts, and be able to take off some of the upsets over the bigger teams. But the question is for Renegades, can they take it a step further and beat a team that's a little more in form, a little bit more of a challenge for them going forward, because they had a really tough one in their opening game.
Well, they did, and I think to get down to this lower bracket, you go, all right, what were teams struggling with in that uppers? Why couldn't they make the run? And questions have been answered now. However, moving forward, I'm curious about who Renegades are going to be versing next, because unfortunately Big will be out, but Renegades, their journey doesn't end here. They've got such a long road to Odense, and it's only just started.
Look, opening game, I think they got crushed by very informed, very scary-looking Hellraisers who, you know, made it competitive against Astralis as well, one of the best teams in the world. So you can't blame them for that. Now they've stepped over Cyberzen, a team that we'd expect to go out of the tournament. A Big that's not quite in form as of late. So those are great victories for them to be able to continue their campaign forward. But this next one is a big one for me to reignite me as a Renegades believer after many years of small disappointments, to put it lightly.
Can't be disappointed after that, Billy. However, coming up next, speaking of Hellraisers, they'll be taking on G2 in another best of 3 in the upper bracket, I believe there, or probably lower bracket after Hellraisers into Astralis. That'll be coming up next here on the ESL Pro League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?